Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're a developer and you want to build with OpenAI? Well, you've come to the right spot. Today, we're going to crack open the official API Toolkit. We're skipping the hype and getting straight to the practical tools you can use to plug some serious AI power into your apps, like right now.
And let's kick things off with this, because it's a really key insight. The whole revolution here, it's not just about making a smarter chatbot. It's about giving your apps, your workflows, pretty much any business process, its own cognitive engine. A brain.
So, to get our heads around all this, we're going to walk through the whole toolkit. We'll start with the core stuff, the APIs for text and images. Then, we'll level up to the more advanced Assistance API. After that, we'll figure out how to pick the right model to power everything. And finally, we'll wrap up with the best practices so you can build like a pro. All right, let's get into it. First things first, the foundational stateless APIs. Honestly, you can think of these as the absolute workhorses. They're the tools you're going to be using for a massive range of tasks.
Okay, so this one right here, this is your go-to for pretty much any text-based task. The Chat Completions API, it's just perfect for building those back and forth conversations. All you do is give it some context. You can use a system role to give the AI its personality, and then a user role for the actual question, and boom, the model spits out a response. It's super powerful, really flexible, and honestly, it's the beating heart of so many AI apps out there.
But hey, it's not just about text, right? This toolkit also has some serious visual power. With the DALL API, you can literally create unique images just from a line of text. You're basically turning abstract thoughts into actual pictures, all in a split second. It's kind of wild.
So for instance, you could send a prompt just like this one. See how it's super descriptive? It sets a style, it gives the model all the creative juice it needs to come up with something really cool and totally unique every single time you run it.
Now, once the image is made, you've got a really important choice. How do you get it back? You can go for a temporary URL, which is great for, say, quick sharing. Just remember it expires in an hour. Or, and this is for when you want more control, you can ask for the raw image data as base64 JSON. That gives you a permanent file that you can save and mess with right inside your own app.
Okay, so let's build on that foundation. That core chat API, it's awesome, but it's got one big limitation. It's stateless. That means it has zero memory of what you just talked about. So for those really smart, ongoing conversations where remembering the context is everything, well, you're going to need to level up to the Assistance API.
And the key difference is super simple. The Assistance API is stateful. What does that mean? It means instead of you having to manually stuff the entire chat history into every single request, the API just handles it for you. It manages the context automatically. This makes building complex, multi-turn chatbot so much easier.
The whole process kicks off when you create an assistant. Think of this as defining its personality and its job. You give it instructions, you pick a model for its brain, and you can even give it special tools like a code interpreter or the power to read through files that you upload.
Then, every conversation that Assistant has takes place inside something called a thread. A thread is basically just one continuous conversation. It holds all the messages back and forth and makes sure the context is carried through from start to finish, all automatically.
And yeah, of course, what's a thread made of? Messages. Every message is just one turn in the conversation, either the user asking something or the assistant replying. And all those messages together build up that rich, smart interaction.
So when you put it all together, you get this really clear workflow. You set up your assistant just one time. Then, for every new chat, you start a thread, add the user's message, run the assistant on it, and show the response. It's a super clean, structured way to build some seriously capable AI agents.
Okay, so you've got the tools. Now you got to pick the engine to make them go. And trust me, the model you choose makes a huge difference in performance, cost, and just what your app can actually do.
And look, this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Picking the right model is all about balance. Are you trying to solve a super complex problem that needs maximum brain power? Or is it more about being fast and cheap? The API gives you a whole range of options to pick from.
This table here gives you a pretty good overview of the main choices. You've got the GPT 4.1 series, which is kind of your powerful do-it-all model. The GPT 4.1 Mini is a great sweet spot between power and cost. But if what you're doing needs some serious multi-step logic, we're talking scientific analysis or writing complex code, then you'll want to check out the O series models. Something like O3 is built from the ground up for that kind of advanced reasoning.
All right, you've got your tools, you've got your engine.
The last piece of the puzzle here is the user manual. You know, how to build apps that are solid, secure, and responsible.
First off, let's be real. Things are gonna break. Your app has to be ready for common API errors. You see a 401 unauthorized? That's a problem with your API key. A 429, too many requests? You're hitting your rate limit. Building good error handling isn't a nice to have, it's absolutely essential if you want your users to have a good experience.
And for those temporary glitches, like hitting a rate limit, don't just have your app give up. A really smart move is to build in a retry system, especially one with exponential backoff. All that means is your app waits a little bit, tries again, fails again. Okay, it waits a little bit longer this time, and then tries again. It's a simple trick that makes your app way more robust.
Building responsibly also means you have to think like a security expert. Those system prompts you write, that's your secret sauce, your intellectual property. And believe me, people are out there right now cooking up clever ways to trick your model into spilling its guts and revealing those core instructions.
And look, it's not just about protecting your own stuff. It's about protecting your users. A recent study looked at over 1,500 custom GPTs and found a huge privacy problem. See this number? 738. That's how many of them were caught collecting user conversation data. We're talking about a massive potential liability here that every developer has to take seriously.
So here's the bottom line. Building with these APIs, it's more than just a coding challenge. It's a real responsibility. You are now the person in charge of your users' data, and you're the guardian of your own intellectual property. When you pick up this toolkit, you're also making a commitment to build things safely and ethically.
So there you have it. We've gone through the core tools, the advanced assistants, the different engines, and the best practices. The whole toolkit is laid out in front of you. So really, there's only one question left to ask. What are you going to build?